Overcoming Cancer. The Path of Healing Through Wisdom and Humility. Question. Nice to meet you. I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer as a New Year's gift in 2017, and now the cancer has spread extensively to my bones and liver. After listening to the Master's lectures, I realized that I had not lived my life correctly, and I finally understood why I got cancer. During my cancer treatment, I spent enjoyable time listening to the Master's lectures, and I still gain a lot of strength and courage from them. Thank you so much. For several years, I was unable to work, but last year, after natural healing, my cancer cells had significantly decreased, so I started a part-time job. However, after 4 months of working, the cancer cells that had shrunk started growing again, forcing me to quit my job. Since then, I have lost my direction in healing, and my physical condition is currently not good. As someone struggling with both health and finances, how should I live? How can I properly live the rest of my life? And now that I am not receiving chemotherapy, can I still overcome cancer while living righteously without treatment? Please provide wisdom and guidance. Answer. Just as knowledge improves in quality through effort, the medical treatments we receive in hospitals are also the result of immense effort. The more we trust and follow them, the better. If you wanted to heal without chemotherapy, you should have taken that path much earlier. You need to understand how cancer develops. Have you listened to the Master's teachings on cancer? Questioner. Yes, yet you are still asking this question now. Cancer develops when a person is extremely stubborn. People who are not stubborn cannot develop cancer. Tumors grow only when one is persistently stubborn. Every human being carries genetic factors that can lead to cancer, but the question is when those factors will be triggered. When does this activation occur? When you push your stubbornness beyond its limits, cancer begins to appear. At that point, if you rush to the hospital, the earliest cancer diagnosis you can receive is about 7 months before detection. Cancer cannot be diagnosed a year and 2 months in advance. 7 months is the earliest possible detection for early-stage cancer. The next diagnosis stage comes at 4 months before detection. This 4-month period is essentially a warning. If you don't change your ways, you will die. So, if cancer is left untreated for 7 months, you die. If it is left untreated for 4 months, you die. Some diagnoses say 3 months, but that actually means 100 days. There is no such thing as a cancer diagnosis that says, you have only 2 months left. Similarly, there is no 1-month terminal cancer diagnosis in the world. Why is this? Because the body provides time for you to recognize and correct it. How do you heal, then? If you have lived stubbornly, you must now live in a way that eliminates stubbornness completely. There are no two ways about it. You developed cancer by living a certain way. To heal, you must live in the opposite way. If you were diagnosed with cancer 7 months ago, you have some time to change gradually. But if you received a 4-month diagnosis, you must dedicate yourself completely to healing. If you do not correct your ways within 4 months, you will not survive. And those diagnosed with only 3 months left? That is a death sentence. You must fight with every ounce of your strength to reverse your way of living. That is the true medicine for healing yourself. The Master only teaches you. Whether you follow the path is up to you. Beyond a certain point, the Master can do nothing more for you. If the hospital recommends chemotherapy, you should do it. But again, you resist. No matter who advises you, you must listen. If the hospital tells you, you need chemotherapy, you must say, yes, thank you, please help me. That's how it should be. Then, soon after, someone else will guide you further. Then you must again say, thank you, and follow the guidance. As you continue, you will meet other people who teach you more. And so, when your husband says, you need to do this, you should respond, yes, I will. Previously, you would have argued or resisted. But now, just agree and follow. In difficult times, you must accept help. If you remain stubborn, you will never recover. This applies not just to cancer but to all illnesses. If you are suffering, it is because you thought you were smarter than others. There are only 2 rules. Sickness comes either from your arrogance or from your mistaken beliefs. Before you got sick, you believed you were right. After getting sick, you realize others are right, and you were wrong. If someone is determined to die, no cure can save them. Some cancer patients want to live despite a terminal diagnosis, but others give up and choose death. The worst disease is one where a person loses the will to live. I once had such a disease. How did I heal? I listened to the words of someone whom the world considered insignificant. Because I accepted those words, I was able to heal. When you look at your own face in the mirror, do you see someone who is dying? No, the face of a person who will not recover already shows its shadow. Healing or not, the face reveals the truth. Listen to your husband. If you listen to your husband, you will receive strength from him. You must listen to those closest to you. The biggest problem is that people listen to strangers more than to their family. This is where pain arises. You must listen to your family first. When you hear something meaningful from outside, discuss it with your closest family members. When you receive wisdom from someone further away, discuss it with those closest to you before acting on it. Just focus on this. The Master's teaching is simple, but you are not yet following it. Question 2. Last year, after beginning natural healing and learning about the teachings, my 3 tumors shrank by half. It was so miraculous that even the hospital was amazed. But as people do, I became arrogant when I started feeling better. I thought, I can recover if I keep going this way. However, I couldn't completely stop working because so many young cancer patients, including breast cancer patients, need to support themselves. I thought, if I just keep listening to the teachings, improve myself, and work without burdening my family, things will get better. But balancing work and healing was not easy. Eventually, I relapsed and returned to square one. Maybe this is my greed, but now I have lost direction. Answer 2. That's because you think you are too smart. You calculated your way forward instead of listening. The Master clearly said that when you are sick, you must listen to others. But as soon as you started recovering, you relied on your own judgment again. When people spoke to you, you became irritated, thinking your way was right. If you become irritated, it's like taking 3 doses of ginseng but losing 4. Getting angry erases the benefits of healing. If you take medicine but get irritated, its effects disappear. Instead, laugh. Even if you might die tomorrow, laugh with those around you. People who get irritated will never live well. We are in an age of righteousness now. If a sick person gets irritated, I do not try to save them. Instead, I scold them to live righteously. Do not get angry, laugh. Say, I'm sorry, and stop thinking you are right. If you do this, healing will follow. Even with chemotherapy, those who sincerely try can overcome it. But if you complain and resist, your immunity weakens. Those who laugh through chemotherapy do not suffer as much. Many cancer patients recovered but later relapsed because they did not change their old habits. If you are struggling, it is because you think you are too smart. Change that mindset. If your husband studies and supports you, you will heal faster. His effort will help you regain strength. Your husband must participate. True love means studying together, supporting each other, and walking this path together. If you both work together, you will overcome this. Overcoming cancer. Healing through wisdom and humility. 1. The cause of cancer. 1. Cancer develops when a person is extremely stubborn. 2. Everyone has cancer-related genes, but they activate when stubbornness reaches an extreme. 3. If cancer is diagnosed early, 7 months before symptoms appear, there is more time to change. 3. If diagnosed with only 3-4 months left, immediate and complete life changes are necessary to survive. 2. The right mindset for healing. 1. To heal, you must reverse your previous way of living. 2. If the hospital recommends treatment, accept it with gratitude instead of resisting. 3. Listen to the advice of those around you, especially family members, rather than distant people or only your own thoughts. 4. Do not get irritated or angry. Negative emotions weaken the body and undo healing progress. 5. Always laugh and remain positive, even in difficult situations. 3. Mistakes that lead to relapse. 1. Many cancer patients improve but relapse because they stop learning and revert to old habits. 2. Balancing work and healing is difficult, and overconfidence can lead to setbacks. 3. Healing requires continuous effort, humility, and discipline. 4. The role of family support. 1. A spouse or family member should study healing principles together and provide emotional support. 2. True love means walking the healing journey together, checking in on each other's progress. 3. When both partners support each other, healing becomes easier and more sustainable. 5. Key takeaways for healing. 1. Live without stubbornness, anger, or resistance. 2. Accept medical treatments with gratitude. 3. Listen to those closest to you. 4. Keep a positive mindset. Laughter strengthens healing. 5. Healing is a lifelong journey, not just a temporary effort. I wrote the story based on the above article. Healing journey. Light of hope. The sky was clear, and the wind was gentle. The view beyond the hospital window was beautiful, but inside her heart, there was only darkness. Hannah, Han Ji-soo, was diagnosed with cancer on New Year's Day in 2017. At first, she couldn't believe it. She had been living an ordinary life and had only felt a little fatigue. But the sudden stage 4 breast cancer diagnosis pushed her into deep despair. At first, she went from hospital to hospital, receiving treatments and doing everything she could to survive. However, when the cancer spread to her bones and liver, the doctors said there was nothing more they could do. She gradually became more and more exhausted. She spent most of her time in bed, losing all sense of purpose in life. But then, a new hope came to her. One day, she happened to come across a lecture by a wise teacher on the internet. The lecture shared a truth about life that she had never considered before. Cancer comes to those who are stubborn. The words deeply resonated with her. She had never thought of herself as stubborn, but when she reflected on her life, she realized that she had always insisted on doing things her way and rarely listened to others' advice. Even when undergoing treatment, she tried to control everything and made decisions solely on her terms while blaming fate and the world for her suffering. She decided to follow the teacher's guidance. She had to change her attitude. She resolved to listen to her family and friends and accept hospital treatments with gratitude. After months of dedication to this new way of thinking, an incredible change occurred. A medical checkup revealed that her cancer cells had shrunk. It was a miracle, and she couldn't hide her joy. As her condition improved, she wanted to return to work. Having been unable to work for years, she longed to regain her independence. A part-time job opportunity opened up, and she eagerly took it. At first, it was exciting. She felt like she was part of society again. However, she slowly fell back into her old habits without realizing it. Feeling better, she threw herself back into a busy life and resumed doing things her way. She ignored her family's concerns, let stress build up, and, before she knew it, the cancer had returned. She was devastated. Why was this happening again? Then, she remembered another lesson from the teacher. When you get irritated, it's like losing 4 doses of ginseng after taking 3. She realized she had been living in frustration and negativity again. She had lost the mindset that had once led to her recovery. She resolved once more, not to rush things, but to live each day with gratitude. Her husband, Min Soo, had quietly stood by her side. He had watched as she transformed through the teacher's wisdom, feeling relieved. But when she overworked herself again, his worry grew. He tried to persuade her to slow down, but she refused to listen. When she relapsed, he was heartbroken. But this time, he refused to give up. "Honey, let's study together." She widened her eyes at his words. He had always been there for her, yet she had tried to bear everything alone. Now, she would walk this path with him. He listened to the teacher's lectures with her and encouraged her whenever she felt weak. As time passed, the dark clouds in her heart began to lift. She was no longer afraid of her illness. She cherished each day, appreciated her family, and embraced every moment with gratitude. When she went for another checkup, the doctors were astonished. Her cancer cells were shrinking once again. Hannah finally understood. Healing wasn't just about taking medicine or receiving hospital treatments. It was about changing the way she lived. She no longer insisted on her way. She spent more time with her family, found joy in the little things, and smiled every day. Looking out the window once more, she felt the gentle wind on her face and saw the bright, clear sky. She was no longer afraid. She had found the light of hope, and she would never let it go.